gonna love you forever, forever and ever.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. I send you an abundance of love. Today, we are back with series 2 of our Learning to Love Again series. And before we jump into it, I just want to remind you that our vision is to see you living and loving wholeheartedly and purposely while receiving true and purposeful love. As usual, I also want to remind you that true love does exist. Yes, there are people out here who truly want to love you and who wants to be loved, and people who are ready and willing to put in the work to build a healthy, loving, growing, and sustainable relationship. I gotta tell you, love is sweet, baby. Yes, love is sweet. So we're going to jump right back into it. Today, in our Learning to Love Again series, we are looking at knowing your worth. I should say, regaining that sense of self-worth, because we don't ever lose our worth. Our worth is there. We are worthy, even when we don't see it, even when we don't feel it. That worth, that value that we hold is still there. We just oftentimes forget it. Sometimes it's situations, relationship, childhood experiences, the things that we've been through that cause us to begin to lose that confidence in who we are and just begin to lose that knowing of who we truly are. And so it's just about reminding you of your worth and helping you to regain that sense of self-worth. Because a lot of time we say that, I know my worth, but the truth is, my love, do you really know your worth? And do you know how to go about finding and nurturing and cultivating that worth if you felt like, you've lost it, you've not really been valuing yourself enough? And so today, I just want to share with you 5 practical things to help you in reestablishing your sense of self-worth, right? Because you are worthy. You are worthy. You are a masterpiece. You are here for a great purpose. And a lot of times it's just simply that we've been in situations, we've been with people who've not been serving us, who's not been cultivating and adding towards us becoming our highest self. And a lot of times what they do instead is bring us down and tear us apart and pull away from that value. You don't want people that's not adding to your value. Simple as that. You don't want to keep people around that's not adding to your value. A lot of us, we just have some very unhealthy attachments. That's all that it is. Unhealthy attachments that we know that this is a toxic situation. We know that the person is not good for us. And I'm telling you this because I have spoken personally to people who will tell me like, I know, it's toxic. We do this, we fuss, we fight, but I love him. And I feel like I can't live without him. And the guy still was like, I love her. I mean, she has a nasty attitude and she doesn't listen sometimes and she's rude sometimes and whatever else it is. But I love her. Like I can't live without her. That's not love. Those are unhealthy attachments. And I can tell you too from my own experience. I have stayed in a marriage for over 10 years where I was very clear from very early on in the marriage, maybe even before, that, this is not really for me. This is not where I want to be. But there was just this attachment. There's this safeness. There's this comfort, that you find in that space. And when you don't fully know your worth, you're going to accept anything. And I'm just saying this to be, I just want to clarify too. It's not that there's anything wrong per se with the person, but it's just that, this is not what you want. Don't settle for less than what you want. And I'm not bashing my ex-husband because he's a good man. He's a good father. But the truth is, I know that I wanted more than that from a relationship, right? But there was just something about that space that was comfortable, that just was familiar. There was just this attachment that I had, and me not wanting to be alone, not being willing to be alone as well, also added to me staying in that situation and staying in that relationship. And even when I've left, because I don't want to be alone, I kept coming back. And a lot of us can relate to this. You leave, you come back, you leave, you come back. Let me tell you, the more you leave and the more you keep coming back, I can guarantee you the more that person will not want to work on themselves, because they will begin to already feel like, you know what? She's going to come back anyway. He's going to come back anyway. So I don't really have to put in the work, because they're going to come back anyway. And I mean, there are going to be some people who will want to change genuinely, but you have to know your situation. And if you know that that person is not ready and willing to change and do the work, trust me, doesn't matter how much you love on them, doesn't matter how much you change. If they're not ready to change, it's not going to work. Because if you're doing the work on yourself and they're not doing the work on themselves, it's not going to work. Because then you, as you're growing and as you're healing, you will begin to realize more and more and more that, hey, this is not where I need to be. This is not where I should be. So the more that you begin to realize that, that's even more that you will begin to realize that this is not the place for me. So let's just jump right into it. Number one, in learning to regain that sense of self-worth and knowing your worth is, one, you got to be willing to heal and to grow. Yes, you have to be willing to put in the work to heal and to grow. You have to be willing to put in the work to heal and to grow. Yes, because a lot of us, we've been through so much, childhood trauma and past relationships. And if you're going into any type of relationship, whether it's friendship and even more so intimate relationship, you have to have healed, or at least be on that journey to healing. Because you're going to go into that relationship projecting a lot of your fears and insecurities because of past experiences on this new relationship. And a lot of people can share about that. They go in, especially the males, they can tell you, ladies, do the work on yourself to heal and to grow. You can't keep going in these relationships and projecting on these men and taking out it on these men because of what some past guy did to you. It's unfair and it's not right. And a lot of us, we miss out on good, healthy relationships because we've not healed and because we've not been willing to put in the work to heal. Healing is not easy. Trust me, I can tell you, I'm on my healing journey. It's not easy, but it's well worth the ride. It's well worth the journey. And I can tell you, as you keep growing and as you keep growing, the journey get easier. It's like any journey. Starting might be difficult. And there are going to be times along the road that you take some twists and turns, or you meet some bumps or some hurdles that you need to cross over. But once you start that journey, you're already on your way to your healing. Then keep the motivation to keep going makes the journey easier. The rewards, the wins along the way makes the journey easier. Don't give up. Don't turn back. Don't get exhausted with your healing journey. You're not even doing it for a relationship. You're doing it for yourself. Your healing is for yourself. Until you fully heal those hurts and those wounds and those traumas that you're carrying, trust me, you can never truly function at your highest potential. And that is what I want for you. Knowing your sense of self-worth is to be able to function at your highest capacity, to have that sense of self-worth and that sense of knowing and that sense of truly believing that, hey, I'm valuable. I know what I bring to the table. And because I know what I bring to the table, I'm not going to settle for anything less. Do the work to heal. And yes, there are a lot of self-help books. There are a lot of self-help podcasts out there. This is the age and time of information that you don't have any excuses for not taking that step to heal. All right. You might say, I don't have the money to pay a therapist or a counselor. but there's a lot of resources out there that's available. I can tell you that my journey, I've been blessed to get the help from therapists. I've got the help from my coach and other people along the way who've been willing to help me. But before I even reach out to these people for help, I was already looking, before I even reach out to these people for help, I was already helping myself, doing the reading, the researches on the internet to find out what's happening to me. Why am I like this? How can I be better? Because I truly wanted to be best. I truly wanted to be my best self, right? So the journey begins with you taking ownership of your healing process, all right? And once you're on that journey to heal, you will begin to regain that sense of self-worth. You will begin to remember that this is me. This is my value. This is what I'm worth. This is Amanda, the one who deserves to be loved, the one who deserves to be cherished. And I'm not going to settle for anything less than that. And it becomes easier for you to say no to the things that does not serve your higher self, your highest self, because you know what your value is. All right. So do the healing. Seek the help of a therapist, a counselor, a coach, or begin simply by looking at some self-help strategies. Resources are available. Number 2, determine what you want. I can't overemphasize how important it is for you to know what you want, for you to know your core values, know what it is that you stand for, know what you want from a relationship, right? Know, and a lot of times, yes, as you're going through the list of writing what you want, then you'll be able to determine what you really need. Let me tell you, I'm telling you this because I truly did this. I have it in my phone. So it was sometime in 2020, early 2020, I just decided that, hey, this is what I want from a partner. I said a husband, because I'm not just out here dating for fun. I said, this is what I want my husband to be. And I wrote it, my husband is, because I wrote it in the present tense. And I was affirming that this is what my husband is, and this is what he will be. And I have a long list of my expectations of this is what I would want in a partner. And after I wrote this list, I can never forget one of my friends. I showed him the list and I said, this is what I want from a partner. And my friend said, wow, this is a nice list. But have you sat to think about, are you the type of person that this type of man would want, right? But we're going to come back to that very soon. But yes, be very clear about what you want, whatever it is. What's the physical, the material, the character? What type of person do you want? Be very clear on what it is that you want from a relationship. The reason is, if you don't know what you want, then it's so easy. It's the reason why most of us just settle for whatever comes along, because we don't even know what it is that we truly want from a relationship. So anybody that comes that seems kind of good or kind of okay, we're quick to just jump in and to settle for that. Gain some clarity on what you want, ladies. Gain some clarity on what you want, gentlemen. Write your list. These are the things that I want from a relationship. Number 3, be willing to speak up. Yes, this one is important. Be willing to speak up to say, these are my values. These are my boundaries. Let it be known what you want, what you desire from a relationship, what you don't like. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of times when we get into these relationships and we're building friendships, we don't speak up for ourselves because we're afraid that, if I really tell them that I don't like this, or I don't like that, or this is what I truly want and I'm expecting from a relationship, then I might lose that person. And so a lot of times we compromise, and instead of going in to lose that person, we instead choose to lose our value and to lose our self and to lose our dignity and to sacrifice that for a relationship. And trust me, you're never going to be truly happy and fulfilled in that type of situation. So you got to be willing to speak up, to say, this is what I want. These things, no, this doesn't work for me. And if the person is not willing to change, to grow, to do the work on themselves, then you have to be willing to let go, because it is in letting go that you allow better to come. Don't ever think that something that is allowing you to settle is the best that you can do. No way. You can do better. You deserve better. And so you have to be willing to lose those temporary comfort and those instant gratification so that you can step into what you truly deserve. But don't be afraid to speak up. If you speak up and that person takes an offense from it, and I mean speaking up in a respectful way, not like, oh, well, I deserve better than this, and so you can't be like this, and I don't want you because you're not doing X, Y, and Z. No, right? We're talking about healthy relationships. We're cultivating healthy relationships, sustainable relationships. So, of course, we got to be able to communicate properly that these are what I want. These are the things that I want. These are the things that I desire from a relationship. Don't be afraid to speak up about it. And if that person can't, meet that standard, then good riddance. Goodbye. They don't belong there anyway. All right. The next step is and this is very, very, very important for me. Number 5 is so important for me. It's for you to see yourself through the eyes of God. And I cannot end without encouraging you to tap into source, right? And that source is God. That source is God. You have to be able to see yourself through the eyes of God. When you understand how God sees you, the purpose that He has placed in you, the greatness that is in you, trust me, you would not keep entertaining those nonsense and mediocre type of relationship that you've been entertaining in the past. You will be able to let go. You will be able to see through that mess quickly and just get it together, right? You will be able to see that, you know what? This relationship is not serving me. This is not making any sense. This is robbing me, in fact, of my greater quality in life. So you have to be able to see yourself through the eyes of God. And you can only see yourself through the eyes of God through cultivating a relationship with God. You have to tap into source. And I'm not just saying when things are falling apart, then you go to God and say, but God, all the time, even when you feel like things are good, right? And even more so in those low times, but tap into source. Cultivate that relationship with God. Connect with Him. Spend time in His presence. Prayer more. Jump into discipleship programs where you're going to be learning about who God is and be developing an intimate relationship, because it's more than just going to church. Church is good, but there's a lot that you don't get in the church service. You don't really get to build that intimate knowledge of who God is, but you get that through a discipleship program. You get that through spending your intimate time talking with Him. But more so, you have to trust God too. Trust His ways. Trust His purpose for you. God's way is better than anything. Trust me. His ways are best for you. And so you have to be willing to trust the process. All right? I want to throw in a bonus for you in cultivating your self-worth. And that is to begin to do the work to become what you want, right? Become what you want. So this is the work. This is the value that you have. And so you have these expectations from other people. Oh, I want love. I want good friendship. I want loyalty. I want honesty. Whatever it is, are those things that you want. Then you have to become that too. You can't say that you want love and to be loved, but then you're a very hateful person, and every time something comes from your mouth, you're just speaking bitter, you're speaking ill of other people. That's contradictory. And as I said earlier, I'm tapping in back to what I said earlier. You can't expect that these are the things that you want. Ladies, you can't want a high quality man, a high value man, but then you're not even meeting the standard, because those type of men will not want you. So you have to become the kind of woman that those type of men will want. It's easy and it's simple as that. You understand? It's as simple as that. You can't have all these high expectations of this is my worth. Yes, my worth, my value. And so you want this from others. You want them to, treat you this way. You want them to meet you at this level or whatever it is. But then you're not carrying yourself in such a way. You're not doing the work on yourself. So you have to become what it is that you want from a relationship, from a friendship, whatever it is. You have to first become that, right? That's very important for you to understand that you will attract what you are. So you can say, I want this, I want this, I want this. But trust me, if you're not at that level for those things that you want, you're never going to attract those things. You're going to keep finding yourself attracting the same type of men that you'll say, oh, these are bum men and these guys are good for nothing. But you have to ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? What am I doing that I'm attracting these type of men, right? That are liars, that are cheaters, that are bums, that are whatever you want to say they are. And the same thing with the guys. What are you doing that you are attracting these type of women who you may say, oh, they have a nasty attitude. They just want me for my money, or they don't want to do anything with their life. They just want to sit there and have a man take care of them. What are you doing that you're attracting these type of person? You want better partners. You want better relationship. The work starts with you. Become what you want. Become the type of person that those type of people would want. You have to be willing to put in the work on yourself. And it's going to be easy because once you understand that, hey, this is my value, this is what I'm worth. Once you understand that what you truly worth, then you won't be afraid to put in the work on yourself because you know that you're valuable, you're a masterpiece, you're God's chosen generation, that He has called you for a higher purpose. Then you're not going to be afraid to put in the work on yourself. It will be a joy. You will count it a joy to invest in yourself because you know that you're valuable. You know that you're worthy. So you're going to be ready and willing to put in the work on yourself. All right. So don't forget, guys. Don't forget, ladies. It really begins with you. It begins with you. And so, as I wrap up for today, I just want to remind you that yes, true love really exists. Yes, there are people out here who wants to love you and who wants to be loved truly and genuinely. And there are people out here who are ready to put in the work to become their best self. But before you go out there looking for it, start working on yourself. Start putting in the work on yourself. Start rekindling that sense of self-worth. All right? I love you. I just send you an abundance of love wherever you are. And stay tuned to this channel. We're going to be back next week with another series on our Learning to Love Again series. Yes, my friend, love is sweet. I can tell you that. Love is sweet. Have a wonderful day. I love you guys. Bye.
Girl.